morning, everybody. Oh man, it's Thursday today. Tomorrow's Friday. It's my first day at school and I'm like really excited, but I'm also really nervous. I'm really excited to get my schedule because I really want to know like what the next year is actually going to be like. And I'm really excited to see what the people are going to be like. I mean, the last few years it's been really difficult to find friends just because I'm like not like actually getting out and doing anything. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure at like this point of time because really I hope I find friends there. So I'm gonna be vlogging my first day for you guys tomorrow, but today I'm going to take the last bit of time to study German. I mean, really, at this point of time, nothing's gonna make a huge difference. I can't learn German in a day, but I think it just makes me feel better rather than not learning German. And then I feel like I don't know. I think that's definitely the thing I'm the most nervous about, is just, am I ready for this? Is my German good enough? Because really, I mean, here's the thing. If I was just traveling and like casually learning German, then my German is great. I can speak German. But at like this level where I have to concentrate for a full day of lectures, first of all, that's extremely exhausting. If you've learned a second language, then you know it is mentally draining to really concentrate on it for a long time. And then also I'm getting tested on the things that I'm learning, so there's a lot of pressure. What was I even saying? I can't even remember where I was going with that. Right. That's the thing I'm most nervous about, but I do think that's the thing that's going to improve the fastest because, yeah, I haven't been fully immersed 8 hours a day in German ever, I don't think. I think within a few months or so, it's gonna be going real fast, and I'm really excited to see the progress that I can make in my German in the next few months. That's very exciting. So I'm a little bit nervous about it, but it's very exciting. So today, with my last little tiny bit of time before school starts, I want to try and learn what I can. So I'm going to be going through this book probably the most because this one is the best for actually learning stuff that I'm gonna be using a lot and unfamiliar with, obviously German grammar. I do have this book that I have been reading and it's been really great for learning vocabulary and stuff, but at the same time I think this is priority. This should be number one. So today I think I want to make it to the first review of this book, which is, you can see there. So far I'm like here, so I have 2 chapters to do and then the review, and then maybe if I have time I'll start working on these ones. I will say I do enjoy studying from this book a lot more than like German grammar drills, but I do have to say that is obviously the best for learning, the most efficient for actually like learning. Whereas this is beneficial, but it's not as efficient. So I'll still dedicate some time to this because I enjoy it, and I think that's really important to actually do things that you enjoy. But one thing that I have learned is to knock out the difficult or unwanted things first. I'm gonna spend a few hours going through German grammar drills because it's, I mean, learning German grammar, who enjoys that? I'm probably some people, but not many. one thing that I'm actually really happy about that I have been able to kind of train myself to do is to study for longer amounts of time. Sorry, I just noticed a pigeon flew like right up my window and I can see it. It's bothering me. No, I've been able to kind of work myself up so that I can study or learn for longer amounts of time, which, you know, like a year ago I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't able to concentrate for that long. And I think really in the last month when I was reading this book and also the last book I read, The Fault in Our Stars, I really wanted to read a lot and get through the book quickly. So I'd be going at it for like 5 hours a day sometimes. And I think long term that's really helped me because now I'm able to do that actually. But of course there's some like techniques that make it a lot easier to do that. You can't just be totally focused for like 5 hours straight. Like that would be kind of insane. So what I like to do when I'm doing something more long lasting, like reading a whole chapter, like it's gonna take me a while to read 20 pages in German, especially if I'm translating the words that I don't know. That takes a long time. So for that kind of like studying, learning, I really like the pomodoro method, which is you're studying for a certain amount of time and then you have a break for a certain amount of time. And the most common one is like working for 25 minutes, having a 5-minute break. And I think for like long-term things like this, it's really nice because reading for 25 minutes isn't that long. You know, it's still less than half an hour. And then it forces you to take a break every 25 minutes for 5 minutes so that then you can just do another 25 minutes and then another 25 minutes and then just continue for however long you want. And using this method, I really found that I could put in hours of studying and it wasn't that bad. So that's definitely the method of learning that I prefer for things like reading. Yeah, if I like know that I'm going to be doing something for a long time, I like to do that. But then of course the downside of that is that you do kind of want to force yourself to take a break every so often. So if you're really getting into like a flow of studying, sometimes you don't want to break that up. And so when I'm doing like this booklet, then I like to just naturally break it up during the pauses. So then something like this work booklet that I'm going through, I'll just work through like a whole chapter at a time because there's like a small portion where it's like the lesson of the chapter and then there's just some practice questions. And maybe if I'm really struggling with a practice question, then I'll like leave it until later and maybe get some help with it first. But I generally just like to get it done with, you know? Also because maybe it's gonna take me an hour to work through this chapter, but it's not like it's gonna take me 5 hours like it previously did for me to read a chapter in this book. If I had a 20-page chapter, it would literally take me like 4 or 5 hours to read it. So I definitely think that in the next years when I'm studying again, it's going to be very beneficial to kind of know these studying techniques because I think they are really efficient. I remember when I was in college in Canada for a year, that's when I really first started using the pomodoro technique. But I mean, that was really only when I was studying for my like finals. And I think I'm gonna be just needing to study throughout the years. Yeah, because it's gonna be interesting. It might be rough. We'll see. We're all gonna see because I'm gonna document it. So wish me luck, I guess. So another thing that's a really great for learning any language is, of course, speaking it and hearing it, like listening to this language. And I mean, obviously speaking it, you just gotta get out there, talk. For me, I'm quite lucky. My husband is German and I have his whole family to talk to. And then for hearing it, it's also really nice to watch films. So I have said this before, but I do think that the Disney animated films are translated very well. Like the actors' voices sound so similar actually, and I think it's a really good translation. So last night me and my husband watched Enchanto in German and it was really cute. And I've noticed a big difference because when I'm watching more like movies, films, like just TV in German, or like watching the German news, I think that does help a lot. And I mean, for me, I'm going to be going into German courses where I'm going to have to be listening. And so I think especially for that, it's something that is super enjoyable to do. I mean, who doesn't like watching movies? And it really does help a lot. So something that was interesting is that my in-laws noticed a bigger improvement in my German after a bit of time when I was watching more films in German and I started reading in German. And that's kind of when I was making bigger leaps with it because I was just immersing myself more in it. So I think those two things have really helped me, and like the fluency of my German, being more comfortable to speak and speaking more naturally, I guess. But of course it is so important to also learn the grammar, because without the grammar you can only get so far. In my Ausbildung, I have one class, I mean, because they have a list of classes that we have to take online from the school, and I have one class that's called communications. And I mean, I don't really know what that all means, like what I'm actually gonna have to learn in this class, but it's definitely gonna be communicating in German. And so I think for that, it's important to be comfortable speaking it, but you also need to be able to speak correctly so that people can understand you. Sometimes people can understand me even if I'm not saying it correctly, and other people, they can't understand it as well. So just working on improving that, speaking correctly but also speaking comfortably and fluently is important. So that's everything I have for you guys for this video. And yeah, wish me luck, because tomorrow, I mean, by the time you're seeing this, I will have already finished my first day. But, you know, wish me luck because I'm buzzing with nervous excitement. Of course I'm nervous, naturally. I'm nervous, but I'm also very excited. So, yeah. And in the next video, I will be sharing my first day and how it went. Yeah. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you're interested in my journey, moving to Germany, living here, working through an Ausbildung, then consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!